Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Kristen Talent. I'm a pharmacist and I'm here today to take you through step by step how to fill out a CLIA application in order to apply to be a CLIA waived laboratory, which will mean that you can then perform CLIA waived point of care testing services. This application is specific to independent pharmacies, but it likely could be used by other businesses. But first, I'm going to walk you through the application itself and tell you exactly where to mail it to. So make sure you watch the video to the very end because there's one last piece of information that I want to share with you at the very end, and I don't want you to miss it. You can bring up the file on your computer or you can actually print it. So whichever you prefer, but if you want to go ahead and do it along with me, then go ahead and hit pause on this video and get the file pulled up or print the application. You can either click the direct link on the checklist that I've provided for you, or you can just do a quick Google search to see, and you could do a quick Google search, CMS form 116. By the end of this very brief video, you're going to have an application that is ready to go in the mail. So like I said, pause this video and pull up the application and let's get started. Okay, so you are going to start at the very top by filling out your information and checking initial application right here. If you're a pharmacy filling out this information, you should be populating the pharmacy's information under facility name, email address, so on and so forth. You are applying for a CLIA ID and you likely don't have one yet, so you're going to leave this top right-hand section blank. I want to bring attention to these two sections right here, the send fee coupon to this address and send certificate to this address section. Please make sure you're checking the correct mailing addresses in correlation to the mailing addresses that you put in the other spots, because this is where they're going to be sending you the fee coupon and the actual certificate. The fee coupon is just directions on how to pay for your certificate. Once paid, you're then going to wait to receive the actual hard copy of the certificate, and that's what this address right here is. You're allowed to start testing as soon as you receive that hard copy certificate. Another place that people tend to have questions is the lab director section here. A pharmacist can be the lab director. So whoever you want to be in charge of your lab testing, that's who you're going to put here along with their credentials. This application does not ask you to send a copy of your pharmacist license, but I do suggest that you add a copy of your pharmacist license with this application in the mail. All right, so in section 2, you are going to check this very top one. It's a certificate of waiver that you are applying for. And let's scroll down to section 3. This is where you're most likely going to select pharmacy, but if for some reason you're not a pharmacy and you're watching this, then you are going to want to select whichever type of facility fits your business. Obviously, fill out your business hours. If you're going to be testing during different hours, then you will want to put those accurate hours here. But if you're not sure quite yet what you're doing, just put your business hours there in section 4 and don't overthink it. In section 5, just check no, because we're not going into multiple testing locations. But I do want to let you know that if you are a pharmacy, then I suggest filling out a separate application for each pharmacy. You'll have a different CLIA ID for each pharmacy. Section 6 is where you're going to put the tests you plan on doing. So if you see here, I've already populated several different tests and several different types of tests, including COVID, antigen, molecular, PCR, antibody. influenza A and B, and strep. So I wanted to populate this information for you so that you didn't have to dig around for it, and that'll save you a lot of time, more than likely. You can go ahead and hit pause and copy down that information and then come back to me. Most states have a very simple form that you fill out if you want to change anything on your original application. So again, I wouldn't overthink this section. This is here for simplicity and for you to be able to get the application in the mail. So just go ahead and put this here, and then you can change it in the future if needed. But these are very commonly used tests that are CLIA waived. I'm going to just scroll down just a little bit. Right here, this line, make sure that you put an estimated volume of all wave tests performed. Do not forget to put a number right here. I suggest putting 100 because that would be about an average of 2 tests per week, and I just think that that's justifiable. So go ahead and put 100 right there. If you want to put a different number, then please feel free, but do put a number right here because they will send your application back to you if you don't put anything. You want to skip section 7 because you're not going to be doing PPM testing, and then skip section 8 because you're not going to be doing non-waived testing. Section 9, this is the business type that you have. So just go ahead and check whichever one is most appropriate. And in section 10, you only need to put something here if your lab director is already a lab director for another lab. If so, put that information here, the CLIA number and the name of the laboratory, or just leave it blank. All right, last but not least, you want to make sure that you are printing the name of the lab director that you listed on page 1, and then make sure that person signs their name under this signature section right here, and then don't forget the date. I just like to bring attention to that because this name has to match the name, just going to scroll all the way up, that you put right here on page 1, okay? So I'm going to scroll back down to page 5 because we need something else on here. If you have this file pulled up, you can see this link right here. Make sure you mail it to the address specific to your individual state. You can find the list of addresses right here at this link that I pointed out. And I'm going to go ahead and switch tabs to show you exactly what that document looks like. All right, so here is the document, and it has every single state listed. So you find your particular state, and let's say you're in the state of Delaware. This is exactly where you're going to send your CLIA application in the mail, okay? I do like to suggest that you send it with tracking, and also make sure you make a copy before you go ahead and send it out. Lastly, let me go ahead and get back to my application. Some states do require an additional application to be mailed along with this. So in order to find out if your state is one of them, I just suggest a quick Google search. Google CLIA application and then enter your state. So CLIA application, Florida. Typically, a state website will be at the top of the search results, which is where you're most likely to find that information. But remember, the Board of Pharmacy is not the governing body or overseer for CLIA labs. Although you're a pharmacy, all questions regarding CLIA should be directed to CMS and not the Board of Pharmacy. So I just like to throw that in there. But that's it. Congratulations. Your business is very, very, very close to being a CLIA laboratory, and I'm so proud of you for taking this big step. You definitely can do this, and I am here to cheer you on. So please don't forget to print off your checklist and make sure you have everything in order. I would love for you to send your feedback to the email included on the bottom of that checklist. But again, my name is Dr. Kristen Talent, and I hope that you found this helpful.